I'll just go over my story. My name is Amy Bingham, and in December of 2010, I had a large aortic aneurysm at the age of 35. Okay, sorry, it always gets me to talk about it, but first of all, I want to thank you all for being here because when you learn CPR in an event, hands-only CPR is for cardiac events, and most often they occur at home. So what you're doing today is probably, if you have to use it, going to save one of your loved ones. So, good job. Okay, so my story. In December of 2010, I went to the doctor for a regular physical. She heard a heart murmur, didn't think it was a big deal. People get heart murmurs all the time. But she wanted to check because mine was pretty loud and it was new. I didn't have one the year before. So we scheduled an EKG, which is the electric, measure of the heartbeat that you see in movies and on TV. That was for the following Friday, so a little over a week out. But she got a funny feeling, so I got a call from the office saying that they had scheduled an emergency echo for that Monday, so before the EKG was supposed to happen. I went to the echo, and I knew immediately something was really wrong. The tech, who's not allowed to say anything really, looked at me and was like, so you came in because you're in pain? And I said, no, I'm not in any pain. And she couldn't mask the shock on her face. She was surprised. She went on with the echo, which is, by the way, an ultrasound of the heart, if you don't know. She went on with the echo and didn't say another word. And then she got up, had me get dressed, and said, well, I'm going to go see the head cardiologist, and I'll let you know if you're allowed to leave. I wasn't at a hospital, so if I wasn't allowed to leave, I knew I was going somewhere by an ambulance. So I started to worry, obviously. She came back. She said, no, you can go home. Just don't lift anything. So I thought maybe she misread what she saw. And I said, well, I work on Wednesday. I'll be lifting. I'm going to need a note. She shook her head no. She said, you're not going to work on Wednesday and you don't need a note. And I went out to my car and immediately called my family. I knew something was really wrong. By the time I walked in the door to my house, my phone was ringing, and it was my doctor's office. I picked it up, and it was my actual doctor, which in all the years I've ever been, she's never called with test results. That moment, sorry, she looked at me over the phone. She said, all I heard, your mind is racing. All I heard was, don't drive anywhere, get a ride to the hospital, large aortic aneurysm. And that's all I heard. I started crying. I immediately thought about my kids. And she started apologizing while I was crying, like you do at a funeral. And I knew that she didn't think that I was going to survive. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. And I got off the phone with her, and I just thought about my kids. I had a son in 8th grade and a son in 2nd grade, and I thought about them needing their mom. So, at that point I got mad. I couldn't fail them. I had to survive for them. They needed me. Their dad wasn't going to teach them to shave that gross teenage boy mustache or walk through the cologne rather than douse it. I mean, there were a lot of other stuff. These are the things that And so I, at that point, banished no talk of death, no thought of death. I was surviving and I was doing it for them. Got to the hospital. I have never got in so quickly. Walked up, said my name, and then it was just like on TV, the flurry of activity. They rushed me back. The car wasn't even parked at that point. And they started repeating the test, making sure everything was correct. And as they're doing it, my team that's working on me would leave the room. And people would kind of pull the curtains aside, people that weren't working on me. Sneak in, grab my hand, and go, "It is a miracle that you made it here. I've never seen anything like it." Which, I'm in U of M's ER. They see gunshot wounds. They see a lot of things. For them to be freaked out by me was, it was telling. So then my surgeon walked in later that night and he said, he didn't mince any words just in case I didn't fully understand what was happening. And he said, "Do you know who John Ritter is?" "Yes." "Do you know what happened to John Ritter?" And I said, "He dropped dead." He goes, "You have two choices. You have John Ritter disease, so you can either have surgery or you can drop dead. That's what's going to happen." I chose surgery. And we discussed my lifestyle, my age, things I wanted to do. So it was very important to me to feel normal and healthy again. So you have a choice between a mechanical valve or a tissue valve. With the mechanical valve, it tends to last longer, but you have to take blood thinners, and those, you have to kind of restrict your diet and some of your activities, because obviously you don't want to get cut or hurt internally while on blood thinners. So he told me he would try to give me a tissue valve, but he wasn't sure if he could. December 9th, 2010, I underwent 10 hours of open heart surgery. My heart was stopped for 22 minutes. I had 10 inches of my aorta removed and replaced with a graft, and he successfully gave me a porcine valve, which is pig tissue, and I call her Miss Piggy. She has served me well. So anyway, I woke up in the ICU, and I'm told that they cheered because it was the first time anyone with that much damage to their heart had received a tissue valve. So we kind of broke a record. And I saw a post on Facebook, and it kind of struck me. This is like the thing to my story. And it said, if you lost everything that you have today, and then you got it back, how happy would you be? And that's exactly it. I woke up in the ICU, I couldn't walk. I had two very shaken young boys who weren't sure if they were going to see their mom again. And I was shaken. I'm still shaken. But so I woke up and I couldn't walk, and I just decided that I needed to prove to myself and to my sons that I was okay. So after 3 months, you get a check, another echo, and all the same tests, and they released me. I had healed well. I could go back to normal physical activity. I started running. 9 months after that, I crossed the finish line to my first half marathon. And 4 years after that, I got to watch my son graduate from high school. Yeah. And I watched him graduate, and I also gave birth to a healthy baby girl without any complications. I'm still going. I just did a triathlon last year. I'm signed up for another one this year, and the goal is Ironman. Wow. So I promise you, really mediocre. I'm not a good athlete. I'm super slow at running, like a turtle. I don't even really like it. But the point was, I couldn't walk. Now I can run. So other thing. If you have good health right now, you're healthy. You're lucky. All I wanted to do was be a normal, healthy 35-year-old. It doesn't take losing everything to appreciate what you have. So go out there, run, walk. I don't care if you salsa dance, and do something to keep yourself healthy. And that's just what I want you to take away from all of this.